Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I just want to welcome you to the Accidental Artist. And I'm so excited you're here. The whole point of this free online event is just to kind of spread the word to as many people as possible that art can enrich your life. And I just am so glad to have Cassie here with us today. She is from Nashville. And I just want to welcome her and thank you so much for being here, Cassie.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to chat with everybody, and it's so much fun.
Great. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. So,
Okay.
Cassie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I am an elementary art teacher. I teach kindergarten through fourth grade. That's my day job. It's the best job ever because these are some of the most energetic, creative, and awesome artists that I've ever met. And I live in Nashville with my husband and our slightly obese cat.
Oh,
We try not to
spoiled
talk about it.
cat.
She's just a big boat.
Well, great. So, and you, how long have you been teaching art?
I have lived and taught in Tennessee for 17 years. This is my 17th year.
Wow.
And I'm originally from Indiana, and I did my student teaching in Ireland. So when I came back from Ireland, I was just kind of open to moving and living anywhere. And
Hmm.
it just so happened that my dad, while I was gone, had sent out about 50 plus resumes to schools to schools all over, I mean, including Alaska. He was really
Oh
ready
my
for me to get a
gosh.
job. So Tennessee was just the first place that I went and interviewed. And I thought, well, this is a nice enough place that I'll just hang out here for a while and then maybe move on. But I fell in love with Tennessee, met my husband, and fell in love. So we've been here ever since.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, and you
Hmm.
said that was your day job. So, what is the other job?
Oh, well, the other job, I guess, is just creating. That's what I do as soon as I go home. I mean, just hanging out with the kids, I get so many ideas, and I'm usually exhausted by the end of the day. Take a little break, and then I'm energized to create my own clothing, is what I like to work on the most. So
Oh,
that's, I
that's
guess,
great.
my after hours job is my own creative time.
And that's what you blog about, is that right?
Correct. I don't sell any of my wares. I just do it all for myself, selfishly.
Who knows? Maybe another time that part will start coming in. Okay, so how did you become an artist?
Well, when I was in elementary school, we didn't have art. We had no art teachers, which is kind of ironic since that's what I do now. But my dad is very artistic. He's a draftsman by trade, so I learned how to draw from him. And during the summers, I would stay with my grandmother, his mom, who was very crafty. So from her, I learned how to cross stitch and embroider, and I learned how to hand sew. And then eventually, when I was in high school, I was fortunate enough to then have art classes, and I really had a chance to explore all different kinds of media. And I just felt like this was the path that I was supposed to take. And so that's what I decided to pursue in college. And in college, I got a painting degree, but
Oh.
as backup, which was very smart, I also got an ed degree. And it turns out I just love teaching way more than sitting around and painting all day.
Yeah, there's something about
Pays way
teaching.
better.
Yeah. So I know you do a lot of the fashion stuff. Can you talk to our audience about how you got into taking your clothes and what you kind of turn them into and a little bit about what that's about?
Sure. Well, I've always wanted a sewing machine. Forever and ever, I wanted a machine. And I didn't actually get a sewing machine until I was about 30,
Mhm.
just 10 years ago. I just had a birthday last week.
Happy
And
birthday.
thank you. And so I had it for about a month, maybe even longer, and I was just so frightened to take it out of the box. But I eventually decided to just get some clothing from Goodwill, just play around with it. I just kept telling myself, it's something I didn't spend much money on. Why not have fun and just kind of see where this takes me? So I'm self taught and I've just kind of been experimenting and having fun with it ever since. So now, within the last couple of years, what I started doing was creating clothing based on the lessons that I'm teaching my students. For example, we were learning about Andy Warhol, so I made a Campbell soup dress after some Andy Warhol works of art. And I recently finished a Claude Monet water lilies dress, since that will be a unit that we'll soon be learning about. And connecting those two things I'm passionate about, teaching and fashion, has really made everything full circle. Whereas before I used to kind of compartmentalize my art. I would teach, come home, and then make my own art. And there was no connection between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that I'm making this connection, the ideas seem to be flowing a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, yeah, and I'm sure you're inspired. You get excited and you want to create what you're going to wear to teach the lessons. That makes you excited and getting ready for it.
Exactly. The kids are always very interested to see what I've made or what crazy outfit I'm wearing. Today I wore 2 shoes that didn't match, that I'd painted like 2 different colors of crayons, which sparked a huge conversation in my 4th grade class. So it was a lot of fun.
That's so cool. So what is your, I know the fashion thing is kind of your favorite thing to do in the art world, I guess. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I think so. If I had free time on my hands, usually during the summer when I do, I'm usually sewing clothing or making something, but usually it is mostly fashion.
So, who inspires you?
Well, I would have to say that a couple years ago, in the town of Nashville, we had an art exhibit called The Golden Age of Couture, which was a Christian Dior exhibit from his 1940s, developing what's called the New Look, which is that real retro 1950s look that when you think of quintessential 50s fashion, you're thinking of Christian Dior's the New Look. So that was really inspiring to me. I love vintage clothing and vintage fashion. One person who inspires me, a lot of times when I'm sewing, I'm listening to old Project Runway episodes, just because I tell myself I'm learning something when actually I'm just fascinated with reality television like everybody else. And of course, I love Tim Gunn. I think he's fantastic. And I recently had the opportunity to interview him by phone for an art education magazine. And that just furthered my passion for him and thinking how amazing, what an awesome, incredible person he is. So I would have to say he's definitely an inspiration to me as a teacher and as a person who has a fashion connection.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, we talked some about your fashion, but just to go back a little bit, I noticed on your blog you have like what the art teacher wore, and every day you have like your outfit on that I guess correlates with your lesson. Can you tell our audience about kind of what reaction you get from not only students, but from maybe other teachers or maybe people you see if you're running errands after school and you're at the grocery store? Can you kind of talk about that reaction?
That's an interesting place. Well, I've been at my school, my current school, for about 12 years, and I didn't always dress wacky. It's just, one of those things that's kind of been building for a while. So by now, the faculty staff, they're used to it, and I think that they appreciate it. I've never heard anything negative from anybody working. My students love it. The parents, they've grown accustomed to it. They kind of know what to expect. Mm-hmm. So I feel really well supported in being kind of like the different standout person. And I think it really is good for the kids to see that it's okay to be unique. That's what being an artist is all about, being outside the box. Now, I often do run errands after school, which can get a little bit interesting because I'm not wearing a badge that says, hey, I'm an art teacher, right. Please excuse crazy. I was once at a Starbucks where I thought I was being paranoid, but it turns out later there was a guy taking pictures, and I was actually able to track down the picture, and it wasn't very nice what he had written about what I was wearing. So I was able to track him down, kind of leave a little comment, and then I even shared that on my blog. Nothing ugly on my part. I just don't think it's nice to take pictures of people and not tell them that you're taking their picture.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for picture anytime.
Yeah.
And the one time I wore my Campbell soup can dress to the grocery store, I was checking out, and the gentleman, the cashier, said, you don't have any Campbell soup in your grocery cart. And I was like, oh, yeah, because you forget you're dressed in a certain way. Mm-hmm. And then he said, I hear it's good. So now for a jacket when I go to the grocery store, it can get a little awkward. So
Oh my gosh.
crazy would have happened.
Yeah, I bet you have to like not take it personally and know you're doing it for the greater good.
Right, right.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well, I think you handled that Starbucks guy fairly well, so.
Yeah, that's what he does. He used to. I heard that's what he used to do is take pictures of people he thought were a little bit different and then post them on Facebook. But I've heard since I kind of outed him on that, he's since stopped.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Everybody needs a lesson every once in a while.
Okay. Not there to deliver.
Yeah. So do you think, Cassie, that anyone can use art to enrich their life?
I think so. And I think that the thing is you have to find what that form of art or that medium is for you. I mean, it doesn't even have to be, fine arts. It could be musical arts or drama. But I feel like everybody can find something where they have a voice inside of them and where that voice can speak. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It doesn't have to be perfect. But as long as you feel like there's been some sort of release and those creative juices are flowing. And I kind of feel like when you're creating, it's like a domino effect, that it's really hard to get started. It's just really hard. You coming up with an idea, it's not going to look just right. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's that image on Pinterest. But if you can get beyond that and just kind of enjoy that creative journey, then I feel like, yes, there is a medium for everybody, as long as you're not too focused on the end product.
Right. Yeah, I agree that getting started is the hardest because I know, when I was younger, it would take me forever to complete a drawing or a painting, and I would spend months and months. I'd pull it out for an hour, put it back up, and not look at it for 2 or 3 months. And once you start getting yourself used to that, you paint every day or you draw or create every day, and it's like it's like brushing your teeth. You just want to do it. You can't live without it. So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, once you hit one of those dominoes, then they're all just tumbling over. You've then got so many ideas, you can't even keep up with the amount of ideas you got. It's just all about momentum. Once the ball is rolling, it's, you're rolling. But then once it stops, it's really hard to get it going again.
Yeah, that's good. So, and so that kind of, comes into our next question. And so somebody who has never done art before, or maybe they're that person that, was a good artist when they were in elementary school, but never got it back out again. What would you kind of give somebody that advice for that first step they should take?
I would just say have your expectations be very low, or don't even have expectations. Just kind of enjoy it. Just move some paint around or whatever it is that person's interested in creating with, and just kind of see where that takes you. But I think that having an end product or an image in mind is really kind of harmful. I think it's better to just kind of see where it takes you. Maybe let the process kind of speak to you. Go into that craft store and buy anything that catches your eye. Grab some pom-poms or some feathers, some wacky colors of paint, and just see what you can make with it. Doesn't hurt to have a glass of wine before you start either.
It's a great idea.
But it's over. We love to have craft nights at my house, and it's always fun. And it's never usually about what we've made, but it's more about just us all getting together and bouncing ideas off of each other.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah.
What was that last one?
Drag a buddy into it. It's always good to have a buddy.
Yeah, that's true. I know, just like going to exercise, you want a buddy to be with you. Same with art.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, do you have possibly like a free gift or anything you want to offer our viewers today?
Yes, I have a book, since we've been speaking so much about getting the ball rolling and trying to get it back in touch with creativity or continuing on your creative journey. I have a book called The Artist Within that I'd love to share with your readers and viewers, because I think that would really help a lot of people just kind of let go of that notion of perfection and just kind of enjoy the process of creating. So I'd love to share that.
Oh, how would they qualify for getting that book?
Well, all you have to do is go to my blog, There's a little bar on the side where you can follow. There's a couple different ways to follow, whatever you find to be most convenient for you. And just leave a comment with your email address, and I'll randomly pick a winner.
Great, and I'll make sure to have that link to your blog, so whenever they get done watching this, they can go straight there and sign up for it. So great,
Sounds
thank
great.
you. Thank you. And do you have any last thoughts for our listeners today?
I'm drawing a blank.
Not to put you on the spot, but last thoughts, words of wisdom.
Just that, I know I've already said it before, but just to let go of the notion of perfection, try to create without the end product in mind. And even if you do, I start by sketching out outfits, but a lot of times they don't end up looking like what I've plotted and planned for them to look like. And I think that's perfectly fine. Sometimes you got to let what you're working with speak to you. And of course, your feelings and your moods and your ideas change along the way. So I think it's always best to be flexible when you're creating. So I guess that's my parting words.
That's great. In this whole online event, we're trying to get people to know that it doesn't have to be perfect, and we want people to know that everyone can use art to enrich their life. And I just love that all of these artist experts are telling as many people as we can find about this, and it's coming from experts saying you should try it. A lot of times people have that notion that maybe artists are artists and they're in their own little group. Well, we all want people to experience the freedom and the love that we feel when we do art. So I just think it's
And
great.
no matter what your age, I didn't start sewing till I was 30. Grandma Moses, a very famous primitive artist, she didn't start painting until she was well into her 70s. So it's never too late.
Never too late. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here, Cassie.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.